If you're a man over 60 and you've started noticing changes in how your body responds, not just in the bedroom, but in your energy, mood, and motivation, let me tell you something you may not hear often. You're not alone. And more importantly, you're not past your prime. What you're experiencing might not be aging at all. It could be your body quietly asking for something it's no longer getting enough of. 5 essential vitamins that keep your masculinity alive. I'm Dr. Samuel Lee. Over the past 3 decades, I've worked with thousands of men who believed they were just getting old. But when we dug deeper, we found the real culprit wasn't age, it was depletion. You see, as men age, the body's ability to absorb and utilize nutrients drops. Slowly, silently. And without these 5 key vitamins, everything from testosterone to blood flow to focus starts to slip. The good news? You can get most of it back. And no, it doesn't start with prescriptions. It starts with understanding. But before we talk about which vitamins matter most, we need to talk about the biggest mistake most men make when trying to fix things. It's not about effort, most men are trying, but trying doesn't help if you're doing it wrong. I remember a patient named Charles. He was 70, retired from the Navy, still sharp and active. He came in frustrated, carrying a box of supplements he'd been taking religiously for over a year. "Doc," he said, "I'm doing everything they tell me, but I'm still tired, still foggy, and intimacy, it's fading. I don't get it." We laid everything out, and what I saw was common. He had the right intentions, but the wrong forms. He was taking vitamin B12, but in a version called cyanocobalamin, which is hard to absorb after 60. His vitamin D was D2, a weaker form than the recommended D3, and his vitamin E, synthetic, missing the full spectrum his body needed. Even worse, he was taking them inconsistently, skipping days, mixing brands, chasing trends. So we started over. I gave Charles a short list. Just 5 high-quality vitamins, taken daily, in the forms his body could use. Nothing fancy, just precise. 3 weeks later, he called me. "Doc," he said, "it's like someone flipped the switch back on. I'm sleeping deeper, my focus is back, and let's just say I'm not avoiding the bedroom anymore." This is what happens when you stop throwing darts in the dark and start giving your body exactly what it's been missing. You don't need 20 bottles of pills. You need the right nutrients, in the right form, taken consistently. This isn't hype, it's science, simple, practical, and real. And if you've been feeling like something's off lately, if your energy, drive, or connection just isn't where it used to be, then keep watching. Because in the next part, I'll show you exactly which 5 vitamins to focus on and how to build them into your daily routine in a way that's sustainable, powerful, and life-changing. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you let the morning sun touch your skin without rushing, without a to-do list in your head? What if I told you that simple moment could change how your entire body feels, especially when it comes to your energy, your performance, and yes, your manhood? You see, for many men over 60, the issue isn't age, it's circulation. And one of the most important keys to healthy blood flow is something your body may be quietly starving for: vitamin D. It's known as the sunshine vitamin for a reason. It's what helps your body produce nitric oxide, the compound that opens up your blood vessels and allows oxygen-rich blood to reach everywhere you need it: your brain, your muscles, your heart, and your penis. Without enough vitamin D, that flow slows down. And when blood doesn't move, energy drops, erections weaken, confidence fades. And here's the kicker. More than 40% of older adults in America are deficient in vitamin D, often without knowing it. Even men who eat well and stay active tell me, "I just don't feel like myself anymore." And this is why. I remember a patient named Martin, 66 years old, a retired dentist, smart guy, disciplined, but quietly frustrated. "I still love my wife," he told me, "but it's like my body doesn't show up when I want it to." We checked his labs. His testosterone wasn't terrible. His heart was solid, but his vitamin D levels were way below normal. We made one shift. He started walking outside every morning for 15 minutes. We added a high-quality D3 supplement to his breakfast, and he ate more salmon and fortified dairy throughout the week. That's it. No magic pills. No drastic change. 3 weeks later, Martin came back with a light in his eyes. I didn't realize how foggy I'd been until I felt clear again, he said. His energy was up, his mood was better, and yes, his connection with his wife returned. Why? Because blood flow had returned. So, if you've been feeling slower, dimmer, or less like yourself, don't assume it's just old age. Your body could be missing a vital signal, the one that tells it to wake up, to move, to rise, and vitamin D might be that signal. You can start today by spending 15 to 20 minutes outside in the early morning light. Eat more salmon, tuna, or vitamin D fortified foods. And if needed, add a D3 supplement, the form your body actually absorbs. Because when circulation flows, everything else begins to return. Energy, clarity, desire. But even good circulation means nothing if your body doesn't have the power to move with it. That's why in the next part, we'll talk about the energy igniter your body needs just as much. Vitamin D. You ever wake up, get a full night's sleep, eat your breakfast, and still feel like your body just doesn't want to get moving? Like your mind's a step behind, and even when your heart wants to be present, whether it's at work, with your wife, or with your grandkids, your body just can't catch up. That's not laziness, that's not age, that's often a signal. A quiet one. And many times it's pointing to a hidden deficiency in vitamin B12. This vitamin is one of the most underrated power sources in a man's body. It's not flashy, but it's essential. B12 is what helps your body turn food into usable energy. It's the spark plug that turns your meals into motion. It also helps produce red blood cells, the very vehicles that carry oxygen to your brain, your muscles, and yes, to the parts of your body that make you feel like a man. When B12 runs low, the whole system slows. You feel foggy, your endurance drops, and slowly, without even realizing it, you start losing connection to the parts of life that used to excite you. And here's the kicker. As you get older, your ability to absorb B12 from food starts to fade, even if you eat well. It's like trying to fill a tank with a blocked hose. You think you're doing everything right, but nothing's getting through. That's why so many men over 60 feel tired for no clear reason. I once met a man named Harold. He was 70, a former jazz musician, still sharp, still full of rhythm, on the outside. But inside, he told me, things felt off. Doc, I want to get up and play. I want to be close to my partner, but I just don't feel the energy anymore. My hands are steady, but my mind's not in it. We ran a few tests, no major problems. But his B12 was borderline deficient. We switched him to a high-quality methylcobalamin supplement, the active form your body actually absorbs, and we made it part of a daily rhythm, not a once-in-a-while fix. 3 weeks later, Harold sent me a video. Him back on stage, smiling, flowing, his fingers dancing over the keys like they used to. But he didn't talk about the music. He said, "I feel awake again, like I'm back in my own body." That's the power of getting your B12 back. It's not just about staying awake, it's about showing up for your life. And here's the good news. It's simple. You can get B12 from eggs, fish, dairy, or fortified cereals. But more importantly, if you're over 60, consider taking it as methylcobalamin, the form your body actually uses. Stay away from cheap supplements labeled cyanocobalamin. They're harder to absorb and often don't do the job. Now remember, even with strong blood flow and better energy, your body needs protection, hormonal support. That's where our next vitamin comes in, and it might be the one you're missing most. Let me ask you something. Have you ever done everything right, eaten well, exercised, stayed disciplined, and still felt like the fire inside was dimming? Like you're showing up, but not fully. The strength is there, but the spark isn't. That's the exact feeling James, a 70-year-old retired Marine pilot, once described to me. "Doc," he said, "I train 3 times a week. I eat clean, but something's missing. I don't feel like the man I used to be, not in energy, not in drive." And honestly, that hit me. What James didn't know, and what many men overlook, is the quiet role vitamin E plays in keeping that fire burning. Vitamin E isn't just a skin vitamin or something you hear about in women's health blogs. For men, especially those over 60, it's one of the most underrated protectors of your manhood. Why? Because it guards the very systems that make you feel alive. your hormones, your blood vessels, and your reproductive power. Here's what happens. As we age, inflammation and oxidative stress creep in. You don't always feel it directly, but over time it damages the elasticity of your blood vessels, limits blood flow to key areas, and quietly lowers your body's ability to produce testosterone. Without enough testosterone, your motivation drops, your focus softens, and your desire for life, for intimacy, starts to fade. Now here's the science. Studies published in journals like Biological Trace Element Research and Journal of Endocrinological Investigation have shown that vitamin E acts as a powerful antioxidant that reduces oxidative damage to Leydig cells, the very cells responsible for testosterone production. In simpler terms, vitamin E helps your body make and protect the hormone that fuels your drive. It also keeps your blood vessels flexible and responsive, meaning when the moment comes, your body is ready. It's not just about arousal, it's about response, flow, strength. When James began taking a natural vitamin E supplement alongside a diet rich in greens, almonds, and sunflower seeds, something changed, not instantly but gradually. He told me, "It's like my body remembered who I was. I started waking up with more energy, more motivation, and even my wife said I seemed lighter, like the old me was back." That, my friend, is what happens when you stop fighting your body and start feeding it what it needs. And the best part? You don't need complicated regimens or expensive treatments. Just a handful of spinach in your salad, a drizzle of olive oil on your veggies, or a few almonds in the afternoon can go a long way. And if needed, a high-quality natural vitamin E supplement fills in the gaps. So if you've been feeling like something's off lately, less edge, less interest, less confidence, it might not be in your head. It might be a signal, a lack. And vitamin E could be the quiet reset your body's been calling for. Now, even with strong circulation, clean energy, and a revived hormone engine, there's one more piece to this puzzle. Because real strength isn't just physical, it's mental. It's how you show up for yourself every day. And the next vitamin might just help you do exactly that. All out. Have you ever noticed how your energy seems to dip after a few days of stress? How even small frustrations leave you feeling drained, disconnected, and just not in the mood? That's not just in your head. It might be your testosterone quietly taking a hit. And one vitamin could be the missing link that gets you back on track. Vitamin C. Yes, the same vitamin we were all told to take for colds growing up. Turns out it's a secret weapon for men over 60 who want to stay strong, energized, and intimately connected. Let me explain. Vitamin C is one of the most powerful antioxidants in nature. And while most people think of it as a flu fighter, few realize it plays a crucial role in protecting your blood vessels, especially the small, delicate ones that carry blood to your sexual organs. Without strong microcirculation, even the best hormones can't do their job. Blood has to reach its destination. But there's more. Vitamin C also helps your body fight stress. When you're overwhelmed, mentally, emotionally, or physically, your cortisol levels rise. And cortisol? It's a testosterone killer. It blocks production, zaps energy, and dulls your desire. But with enough vitamin C in your system, you can reduce those stress levels, protect your testosterone, and maintain your edge even on the tough days. Here's something most people don't know. Your adrenal glands, the small organs that help your body cope with stress, also help kickstart testosterone production. And guess what nutrient they depend on most? Vitamin C. That's right. Without it, they can't work efficiently, and your hormones fall out of balance. Scientific studies back this up. Men with low vitamin C levels often have lower testosterone, feel more fatigued, and recover slower, especially after 50. Researchers have even pointed out that vitamin C protects Leydig cells, the very cells that produce testosterone in your testes. So how do you get more of this powerhouse? It's easier than you think. Start with your plate. Add more citrus fruits, like oranges and grapefruit. Slice some kiwi or strawberries into your breakfast. Add red bell peppers to your salad or stir fry. Even guava packs a punch. And if your diet falls short, consider a natural supplement. Around 500 to 1,000 milligrams a day is enough for most men. The best part? Unlike many synthetic treatments, vitamin C works with your body, not against it. It doesn't override your system. It strengthens it, quietly, steadily, daily. I've seen it happen. One of my clients, Dean, 65, a retired engineer, had been struggling with low drive and constant fatigue. He didn't want anything dramatic, just something natural. After consistently adding more vitamin C to his diet and daily routine, he came back a few weeks later and said, "I don't know what it is, but I feel sharper, lighter, and I even started waking up with more energy again." That's not a miracle. That's biology done right. So if you've been battling stress, noticing a dip in energy, or feeling like your old spark has faded, it's time to ask yourself, is your body missing the simplest vitamin of all? Coming up next, we'll look at a nutrient most men overlook, but one that could help protect your prostate, balance your hormones, and rebuild your inner strength from the ground up. Stay with me. There's something strange about how men age. We focus so hard on the obvious, muscle loss, energy dips, low libido, that we often miss the invisible players running the show behind the scenes. Vitamin K2 is one of them. Quiet, often overlooked, but absolutely essential if you're serious about reclaiming your strength after 60. It's not a flashy nutrient. You won't hear about it on commercials or see it in big, bold letters at the pharmacy. But here's what most men, and even most doctors, don't realize. Without enough K2, all the other nutrients you're working hard to take, especially vitamin D3, might not be doing their job properly. Why? Because K2 is like the traffic controller of your body's calcium and hormonal systems. It tells calcium where to go, into your bones and muscles, not into your arteries where it can cause blockages. That alone makes it a heart health powerhouse. But it doesn't stop there. According to a groundbreaking study from Japan in 2011, K2 also helps stimulate testosterone production inside the testes, especially when combined with vitamin D3. In fact, in animal models, testosterone levels rose significantly with the D3 plus K2 combination versus D3 alone. That's synergy in action, and it's something no single pill can offer by itself. What's more, K2 enhances the effectiveness of vitamin D in producing nitric oxide, the gas that widens blood vessels and improves circulation. That means better blood flow, stronger erections, and more oxygen reaching where it needs to go. Think of K2 as the teammate vitamin D never knew it needed, but always performs better with. But here's the catch. The older you get, the harder it is to get K2 from diet alone. Most American meals don't include fermented foods like natto, a traditional Japanese soy product, which is the richest source of K2. And unless you're regularly eating organ meats or aged cheeses, your levels may be running low, and you'd never know it until symptoms show up. Fatigue, poor blood flow, low testosterone. One of my clients, Thomas, 68, thought he was doing everything right, taking vitamin D3, exercising, eating clean, but his testosterone hadn't budged in months. We introduced K2 in the MK7 form, paired it with his D3 in a combined supplement, and within a month, things started shifting. His energy came back, his blood pressure improved, and most importantly, he felt alive again, not just going through the motions. You don't need a complicated plan to get K2. You can get small amounts from egg yolks, beef liver, and fermented cheese. But if your diet's limited, or if you want to pair it efficiently with D3, consider a D3 plus K2 MK7 supplement. That form absorbs well, stays longer in your system, and supports both your hormones and your heart. It's easy to dismiss a vitamin you barely heard of, but K2 isn't about hype, it's about what works silently inside your body every day to protect, support, and activate. You don't always feel its absence immediately, but when it's missing, everything slows. And when it's there, the difference can feel like turning a dimmer switch back up on your strength, clarity, and vitality. In the next segment, we'll pull all of this together into one smart, simple routine you can follow daily, without overwhelm or confusion. Because feeling better shouldn't feel complicated, let's make it doable. If you're wondering, so how do I actually apply all this to my day? The good news is, you don't need a complicated plan. You need a simple rhythm. A small handful of actions you repeat daily that stack up to something powerful. Let me walk you through how I guide most of my male patients over 60, including Frank, a 66-year-old retired carpenter who just wanted to feel like himself again. He started every morning with a tall glass of water and a high-quality B12 supplement in its methylcobalamin form. Why? because your body needs B12 first thing to kickstart energy production, help oxygen circulate, and bring your brain and muscles back online. Right after breakfast, if the sun was out, Frank would go for a 15-minute walk. That sunlight, it helped his body naturally produce vitamin D. But on cloudy days or when he didn't get outside, he'd take a dose of vitamin D3 combined with K2, the MK7 form, which not only boosted his blood flow, but also protected his heart by preventing calcium from clogging his arteries. At lunch, he added a drizzle of olive oil to his salad and grabbed a small handful of almonds. That's where vitamin E came in, protecting his blood vessels, reducing inflammation, and helping his testosterone production stay sharp. In the afternoon, when energy dips usually happen, he'd take 500 to 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. That small move helped protect his capillaries, reduce stress-induced cortisol, and indirectly keep testosterone from crashing. And if needed, depending on his diet, Frank would occasionally add in fermented foods like natto or take a D3K2 combo pill in the evening to ensure vitamin K2 levels stayed steady. The results? Frank started sleeping better, waking up clearer, more motivated, and even laughing more with his wife and grandkids. No drugs, no extreme diets, just 5 essential vitamins at the right time, in the right form, and a mindset that said, "My health still matters." Growing older doesn't mean fading away. It doesn't mean you're less of a man. It simply means your body needs a different kind of support, one rooted in science, rhythm, and respect. The truth is, it's not about knowing the names of 5 vitamins. It's about using them every day with intention. Because these nutrients don't just power your body, they help you come back to yourself. The version of you that walks with presence, speaks with confidence, and lives with connection. I've seen it time and time again. Men who thought their best years were behind them, only to realize they were just missing the right tools. You still have time, you still have strength, and most importantly, you still have a choice. So ask yourself, what kind of man do you want to wake up as tomorrow? One who hesitates, or one who takes action? If this message struck a chord, don't keep it to yourself. Click like if you feel seen. Hit subscribe if you want more health truths made for men like you. And share this video with a brother, a friend, or someone you care about. Because aging doesn't take away your value. It reveals it if you're willing to show up for it. You've made it this far. That's no accident. Now it's your move.